We have a relatively rare formation coming up in our sky that's quite positive. It's a grand water trine formed by the god of actions and decisions, retrograde Mars, flowing to Mercury up in the sign of Pisces and the Vestal flame of devotion and what you want to dedicate yourself to from a place of deep devotional energy in the sign of Scorpio. And this triangle comes into formation as the week begins, Monday, but it's very, very light. And as we get towards Saturday and Sunday, it becomes quite exact. I'm going to show that sky to you. We're going to talk about how you can use this energy. It's otherwise a relatively quiet week in the sky. We're getting ready for the eclipses coming up in the month of March. That's the big deal story. But for now, we're going to talk all about this week ahead. And we're going to talk about your sign. Listen for your sun sign if it's about your career, your moon sign if you're thinking about your home or your emotional needs. And when it comes to your rising sign, it's usually very accurate. So I suggest you get down with that rising sign as well. It's you in the matrix, the character you play. You're born to be a character in this matrix. That's your rising sign. This is the role that the actor's playing. The deeper essence, the true self could be the sun. I listen for my sun and I listen for my rising, and I find them both useful. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. If you like this kind of all signs content, every Monday I come up with my week ahead video for your sign. And I also have my What in the World Wednesdays, which I do world astrology. And on Sunday, I'm usually dropping something. So you get 3 videos a week from me. If you like that kind of regular content, then this is your channel. And we're using astrology as a navigational tool. This is Western tropical astrology, not Vedic, not sidereal. And we often talk about the fixed stars and minor asteroids because they are indeed, the devil is in the details. And the asteroid Vesta, the sacred flame of devotion, the priestess who tends a flame, is a big part of the sky this week ahead. Now, before I open up the chart, is there anything I want to share with you? Anything you want to know? I might want to tell you about. My Venus course is starting on March the 1st. It runs 6 weeks until April the 12th. If you want to come aboard that course for a live teaching with me, we're going to cover the Venus retrograde cycle. We're going to talk about the minor asteroids involved, and we have a lot of them, including Isis, the magical Egyptian goddess who floods the Nile River, is hanging out with Venus. And we're going to talk about how to use the sky and how to harness this kind of retrograde. It hasn't happened, this kind of retrograde, since 2017. So we can go February 17 to like June. And it's the same thing again. We're feeling these energies playing out now, just like they did back then, just like they also did back in 2009 and 2001. This is Venus's retrograde through Aries and back into Pisces and then back into Aries again. And her connection to the sun called a star point, which she's going to do on March 22nd to reset your Aries sky for the next 8 years. So come aboard, jump in the class. It's affordable. The sale is on until February 22nd for 25% off, and the discount code is in the description box with the links to enroll. All right, let's get going. Let's talk about the sky for this week ahead. First of all, we're coming off a relatively calm sky. I know world events still happen, but in each of our lives, you might have felt like you were in a little cell phone signal disruption, an oasis of quietude. Most of us in our own lives were kind of engaged in less of the sky and more of our own self lives, because we weren't in any major aspects from about the 12th, 13th of February through to about the 18th, 19th, 20th, and we're going to get back into some stories. And that's what's happening this week. So what I'm going to show you is the sky, and we're going to talk about how you can see this triangle. You're going to see it. I'm going to show it to you. And this is always about flow. Grand trines are the nature of Jupiter, and it's about luck, opportunity, flow, ease, grace, goodness, expansion and growth. So we got the flow energy, we got the Jupiter overlap, because trines are the nature of Jupiter. And this is one area of the sky where things are moving well. Things are happening in a sense of ease. Now, it's not always going to be good, because you don't always get what you want, you get what you need. So you can qualify it, is it good or not? However, Jupiter is retrograde. And this means he's going to be activating a sky that was active on October 5th, 6th, 7th, around that time. So when you go back to, because he's at 17 degrees of Cancer, which was like the first week of October 2024, he's covering that territory. He's going over that ground. And there may be things in your life that you were doing that you wanted to take action on or make decisions on. Mars is actions, decisions, cutting, separating, ending, passionate action as well. Well, determined action. Well, what were you doing in October, especially that first week? Because this week's sky with that mini trine, that's grand trine is literally experiencing something about the first week of October, because now from retrogradation, he's reconsidering it. Not just is he retrograde, he's stationary. He's at 17 degrees, stationary for direct motion on February 23rd. I'll be having a whole video about direct motion Mars in Cancer, where he'll be until mid-April. Then we're going to talk a little bit here about what the Vestal flame is before I show you the sky. It's like a little flame fire. It's the same as the Greek and Roman god Vesta and Hestia are the same entity. The hearth fire, home fire, tending the flame of the home fires, the kitchen fires, you know. A lot of chefs are born with Vesta in their charts on the midheaven or on the ascendant, like people who professionally cook, right? So it is about the home and the hearth, but it's also about the sacred devotion, because the Vestal virgins in ancient Rome tended a sacred flame, a sacred fire, and the fire was all about not letting the fire die out for the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. And by having a sacred duty conscripted at age 6, 6 virgins underneath a high priest guy, to tend those fires. And when a Vestal virgin got out of her duty at 36, she was rewarded with wealth, with riches, with land holding, the ability to walk the streets of Rome unaccompanied by a man. She was given superior power because she was revered for her service as the duty she did kept the Roman peace. So there is something about how much you're willing to sacrifice, how much dedication and devotion you're going to put into something, because she demands that. This is not just a small thing. This is like, are you going to devote yourself to something in your Scorpio part of your sky that Mars wants to take actions and decisions on from the Cancer part of your sky, that Mercury wants to have ideas or communicate about from the Pisces part of your sky? Those water signs are active. Clearly, if you are somebody who is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, this triangle lights up your ascendant or your sun or your moon, and you're really grooving with it. Like, you guys are going to have a really good ride off this Vestal Virgin Mercury story. Let me pull up the chart and let's get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead. Let's go ahead and do the all signs. All right, so I've got this ready for you guys. I'm going to put it up and we're going to talk astrology and your sign. Now, this general bell curve astrology, meaning simply that it's not a personal chart reading. So you know that this is just general, and not everything I say is going to be true for you. I'm going to keep that in mind. If you don't know your rising sign, you can cast your chart in whole sign houses and learn to find your rising sign using a free tutorial in my description box below. Hit the more button, ... and you'll find everything you need down there, including a bunch of freebies. All right, so here we have the sky on Sunday the 16th, which is the day I'm recording on the day before that, but let's move us to Monday, the 17th. And here you'll notice that there's a triangle starting to form right here where my cursor is. And that's because Mars retrograde back over sky territory. He traveled the first week of October, stationing at 17 degrees to go direct on the 23rd, 24th. He's heading direct again of February. He's very powerful. He's very powerful because he's stationary, more or less. He's like really slow. He's barely moving. Mars is hunkered down at 17 degrees. But you'll notice that as well, the Vestal flame of devotion is here at 14 degrees of Scorpio. And while it's not partile or exact, it's still importantly, it is a 3-degree connection between these two planets. And you'll notice that over here on this part of the sky, we have an anchor. Oops, I just lost my picture. I don't know where it went. We have an anchor happening mostly from Saturn at 19 degrees, so 14, 19, and 11. But watch what happens as we move forward in the week. Watch where this triangle gets really beautifully lit up. We're going to move ourselves to the weekend. All right, now we've got complicity with Mercury, and that's what we're really waiting for. So by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday of this week ahead, so the 22nd and 23rd, yes, we do have support from Saturn. And yes, Saturn is anchoring the buildup, but Mercury is like an activator, and he's coming onto this triangle right here. And he's at 15 degrees, perfectly trying the Vestal flame on Saturday. This is to say that you really feel Mercury's participation here starting about Thursday, Friday. So Thursday, Friday, building up to Saturday, Sunday, Mercury's getting in on the triangle. And he's making it more strong and more precise in collaboration with Saturn. And eventually he will conjoin Saturn. And here we have the Sunday, the 23rd, and we still see that triangle looking very, very strong in the sky. So this is important because this is kind of rare. Why? Because Mars has to be in the sign of Cancer, and it's rare because he's also retrograde here. And we have to have the Vestal flame in Scorpio, and we have to have this Mercury Saturn, especially Saturn in Pisces, which is only every 30 years. If I was trying to find this historically, it's not in our lifetime that this perfect triangle in the mandala of the sky has been formed. So the bottom line for everybody is that if it's a water trine, it's about flow, magic, grace, ease, creativity, and because it's trine, expansion, growth, luck, and prosperity. But it demands of us something devotional and sacred. Actions and decisions are Mars's wheelhouse. It will take you back usually to the first week of October when he was over this territory, and things you were wanting to take action on, considering, took action on, had to walk it back, decisions you were making, but you have to revise them, or decisions you were waiting to make, and now you're no longer postponing on those decisions. So that's Mars's journey through the fourth house, or decisions and actions and change happening in your fourth. Well, this is Aries' fourth house. And then, of course, Mercury is just about like information, news, ideas, a phone call, text messages, anything like that may be emerging for you this week ahead. You begin to feel it Monday. It really heats up with Mercury's support Thursday through to Sunday. Okay, so we're going to talk Thursday to Sunday for each sign, and let us drum roll into Aries. So Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Bottom line here is you're going to see some changes to your home life. And that's because we're starting with Mars, the god of directional shift. And he's going to go direct on February 23rd. But as he prepares, he's going back over considerations to do with home, property, land, and real estate connected to your life in the month of October. Now, he can, with his direct motion between, February 23rd and, mid-April, make a change of home. Okay, you might buy a home, sell a home, move your home, change your home. And that's possible, or rent a property or whatever, but there's home changes that are likely to occur. If you've been having tension in the home and now he's no longer retrograde, you're going to go ahead and forge through those conflicts and domestic tensions in your life and make changes that allow for greater flow and ease. This is a water trine: flow, ease, grace, and goodness. There is the Vestal devotional flame, and it is a money house in your eighth house. It could definitely be something like you're going to be able to secure a mortgage, a loan, a refinancing. Because she's devoted and dedicated, it's probably your mortgage broker or real estate lawyer working on your behalf. Otherwise, there could be a real sacred devotional flame that's emerging in your life to learn some occult magic and mystery, and to take lessons in the occult arts, or to learn something more deeply mysterious and paranormal, and go in that direction in your life for some reason. And we want to talk about Mercury in the 12th house for you, Aries. This is like a very interesting spot for him to be, because he is in a place where it's often backroom deals, negotiations, and then you got that kind of Saturn, make it real, Neptune North Node, Sun combination coming into the weekend. This is opening up some kind of potential for some negotiations or backroom deals and negotiations around matters to do with money that you doesn't, not just your own. It could be your taxes, it could be your investment portfolio, it could be your royalty income, and money as well that you can get, commerce and revenue that's generated from far off foreign shores, distant lands, and distant places. That's your 12th house. In our modern digital income world, that's very common. And we're making some changes based on what we do in and from the home, and it could look like a very nice flow or glow in revenue. And lastly, moksha or spiritual liberation, deep spiritual knowledge and wisdom, 8-12-4. This is a kind of a very profound energy where you might get a little bit of a deep shift, where you shift an ancestral pattern, an addiction, a relationship to your childhood that is going to heal under this triangle, and turn a corner, turn a page on old childhood wounds. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This triangle. I'm going to move us back a day because I'm losing the visual. I've gone to Tuesday. I didn't want to do that. All right. Sorry, I'll fix the problem. We're going on to Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. The triangle is clearly lighting up. the 11, 3, and 7 houses, karma houses, what you desire, and also your relational lives, your relationship to your cousins and siblings and significant others in your life and friends and social groups. But also the karma energy can be what one truly desires in life, what is driving you, what desires do you have? And this energy is positive and flowing this week ahead with Mars anchoring down here. In the third house, it's like first week of October narratives to do with traveling, commuting, writing, teaching, speaking, maybe things to do with your neighborhood and neighbors. And Mars is just as happy to move your neighborhood as he is to cause a fight with your neighbor here. So any discourses with neighbors that have been conflictual, especially going back to October, or with a sibling one younger than you, aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, and nephew, are smoothing out. The Vestal flame in the seventh house is a devotion your partner has to you in love and marriage, or you have to them, or how you're devoted to your audience and marketplace, or how you're devoted to some significant person in your life. The energy of tending the flame and keeping the relationship alive. There is this energy here of flow and ease, and legal contracts and agreements can have flow and ease during this week ahead, especially as we approach the weekend. The karma house is allies and benefactors as well, your 11th house. So people who want to support you, want to help you, friends and allies who want to step up for you. Look for phone calls, emails, and text messages from friends, allies, and benefactors that support you this week ahead. You may have some good news go on the story about your career and it's your career gains, because Mercury is the news. North Node is expanding your gains in your career, like a raise or promotion. But with Mars, also a change. You might change your division, your department, sign a new contract or terms of service in work-related matters. And all said and done, Mercury brings news, and he's in the house of the sibling one older, but also those friends and groups of belonging. So look for, especially as we go into the weekend, Thursday through Sunday, look for some positive news coming your way. Could even be positive news that's about your relationship, when your partner has some news to share with you. The news is definitely showing up here in a very relational house. So it could be news from, again, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, your significant other, or legal contractual developments that benefit your career in a positive financial matter in a way coming up during this end of this week ahead. So Gemini, this is a sky that does so much say that there's some major changes in your work and career. See, Mars has been here since October in the second house of money and earnings. Also, what we put in our mouth is good for, quitting an addiction or doing the wine lover's middle way. But it's also, your passion and drive to be a self-starter in the second house and to make money and to earn money and to possess, wealth and financial wellness. And so Mars has been busy here in a way he hasn't been since 1977, 78, as he's been retrograding in and out from Leo. So you've got a story that says Mars is ready to make action plans and go direct in decisions you might make regarding financial matters. And as he's getting ready to go into direct motion on February 23rd, he does this beautiful flowing trine beforehand. So yeah, what things were you thinking about money, earnings, career, etc. in October, especially the first week, because it's back. And Mars is also flowing to the Mercury in the career house, which is Mercury. Of course, he's in, Mercury and Mars are not in their happy signs. It doesn't really matter. The North was expanding, something to do with what you want to communicate in the work field. It can be contracts or negotiations or deals regarding job and work matters, and shifts regarding financial matters attendant to that. It can also be some kind of conversations you're having in the public eye. Someone like me with a YouTube channel, that's me like dispensing information in the top of the public sky, the 10th house. So some way that you're communicating something to in your career that people can see you doing, like the boardroom meeting or your YouTube channel, you're communicating with North Node intensity, vision, and imagination, Neptune, and Saturn stability. And the sun's joining in too. So it's a really nice highlight in your top of your sky for career success coming up, building this week and really exact on the weekend. And the Vestal flame of devotion. What is it you are going to devote yourself to? Now, that's an interesting word when it comes to work, because we often think of work as duty or drudgery, but this is not that. This is devotion. What sacred flame is a light within you, like a hearth fire, that you want to tend to the flame of your work as a devotional practice, that also brings you career success and makes changes in the way you earn money. So let me know how that goes for you. I'd love to hear what that story looks like. You're so lucky, so damn lucky. Jupiter is watching over you as well in your sign. Alrighty. Now, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mars is in your sign for a hell of a long time, through to mid-April. He's been here since December the brain. Okay, Mars was in Cancer all of September and all of October. Then he skipped into Leo around November the 3rd or so, or 4th. And then he stayed in Leo until January the 6th. And then he slipped back January 6th into Cancer, and he's leaving, full on leaving your sign, coming up in April 17th or so. And this is a rare time. It goes back to the same time, fall of 77 into the spring of 78. This is what it's like to be you back then, okay? Because of the combination of retrogradation from Leo into your sign and back and forth. You're trying to define something about who you are. You want to cut away all that is not elephant. Master, how do you carve the perfect elephant every time? I carve away all that is not elephant. Well, you are carving away from your life people, places, circumstances, things, objectives, career paths, health patterns, whatever, that are no longer good for you. And so you are the one with the sword, and you're pruning the tree of your life. If it's your sun, it's your career. Cancer sun, if it's your Cancer ascendant, it's your identity, all said and done. And you could prune any part of your life. And it's your moon, it could be pruning away things to do with your home life. Now, all that said, this Mars is pretty well stationary, and he's going to go into direct motion on February 23rd or so. So Mars is flowing to the part of the sky that represents a devotion to that which brings you joy. Where is your inspiration, enthusiasm, joy, play, fun, pleasure? That's what the Vestal Flame's all about. Let's light that big lighter up in the house of those things. This is also the house of creativity and the muse and inspiration from the arts perspective. It's also an entrepreneurial house. You want to be devoted. You want a Vestal Flame. You want to be inspired. You want to hear the muse speaking to you. You want to be devoted to her. She's going to be devoted to you. And it's going to lead to publishing. This is book publishing. This is going to university, learning or teaching, studying, being mentored or guided. If any of you are thinking of learning something, like you're going to learn something that's a natural gift and talent you want to amplify, that you're devoted to in order for you to use it as a career path. So, especially with Venus, the Lord of the Mercury story. So look for, in your career house, it's a clue. Look for emails and phone calls and text messages that offer up mentorship, guiding, learning, mentorship of a career path that you might wish to take. And the word publishing and podcasting can go with the 9th house. You're going to push something out into like the archives of the world. The library of knowledge is up there. So in something you post or publish could do really well in sort of book publishing or podcasting kind of vibe, especially Neptune up there. It makes it very podcasty, visual podcasty. And this is a nice vibe for you coming through Thursday through to Sunday when it's more intense and more active. And the Vestal Flame has to follow what Mars wants, right? Because Mars is the Lord of Scorpio. So she's taking instructions from him, and you're the one making the decisions. You're the one taking the actions. This sky is not happening to you. Okay. You are making things happen. Look for major decisions and actions you're willing to take on those decisions emerging for you Thursday through till Sunday. It's also good for winning in a lawsuit or legal matter with a judge or a court case, especially around children or custody of children. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. We have this Mercury, Vesta, Mars. Go back to the first week of October. What was going on with cutting out addictions, getting rid of self-undoing bad habits, maybe a desire to move your home or change your home, maybe some things going on with other people's money, the money you share with the spouse, the money you share with your inheritances and stuff like that, bank loans and mortgages. There's a lot of this energy that is kind of, Mars is making decisions and thinking about these things in October, but now he's ready to not only go direct February 23rd, but at this point, engage in a magical, flowing, and beneficial water trine. You may have a devotional flame that you've been tending in the hearth fires of your home. I mean, this can literally look like your kitchen, or you're baking or cooking all the time, or you're, spending a lot of time by the fireplace. And there's a devotional energy to tending your inner life and your quietude and your privacy and your solitude at home. At the same time, this allows for something here. This is good news, perhaps, about money matters. Tax matters, investment matters, inheritance matters, money matters are positive for you Thursday through until Sunday. And Mars is in the back room, deals in negotiations, making, himself, useful. So there may be some financial negotiations, etc. You could have a condition of somebody showing up Thursday through to Sunday in a hospital setting from an injury. That's possible with Mars here in the 12th house, not you, somebody else. But then it also has a financial implication for you, and at that, a positive one. Lastly, the idea of moving your home, changing your home, buying a home, selling a home, renting a home. These are all possibilities under the sky that look very fortunate for you as you approach the time of this weekend ahead. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Look at the sky showing what it's got for you. Mars goes back to October. Did you cut out friends in October? Did you, especially the first week, did you lose a friend? Did a friend move away? Were you fighting with a friend in October? Because this is a friendship house, the larger social groups and your network socially. Did you quit a club, or a group of belonging? Because Mars was thinking of it or doing it back in October, but now he's reassessing and he's retrograding back through this part of your sky. Often people quit jobs when Mars is in the 11th house, only because change jobs, quit jobs, because this is the gains of the 10th house. And the gains have to change. Something has to end, cut and sever. So you may have thought maybe in October about changing your job or career path, and now you might actually act on it. But there's a lot of ease and flow as we go Thursday through Sunday. And the ease and flow says that if you want to make a change in your job, well, good news, legal contracts and signing on the dotted line are flowing. And it's also connected to third house Vestal flame. The Vestal flame in the third house can be things to do with commuting to work, the neighborhood, things to do with your online social media land, things to do with friends as well. The friends of the third house are more like your siblings, or they feel like a bestie. There's a lot of beautiful flow for solidifying friendships and creating greater momentum with those friends. These are energies of kama, or desire houses. And what do you truly desire right now? And you might be changing your mind or changing your thoughts about what you really want in life. And that includes what you want in marriage and one-on-one relationship. Now, the Vestal flame is like a single celibate female energy, okay? And she's got a trine to Mars, and she's flowing to the 7th house. And so it's not like, I'd say that this could be good for a trip. This could be good for a really lovely sacred trip in a long-term relationship. You guys are going to book a trip somewhere, go somewhere together, maybe with friends, but it could be good for the relationship to bring more of a sacred devotion to a long-term love story, with the arc of travel and travel opportunities being embedded within this. Your partner in crime, your main squeeze, your number one person, your significant other may have some good news. This may be their Mercury moment, their good news, some dream come true for them, and it flows to the workhouse and, maybe the neighborhood house or the online house or the sales and marketing house. So your partner in life may be the one having something exciting and positive and some good news coming their way, and you're going to hear about it Thursday through Sunday. So Libra, sun, moon, and rising, there is a beautiful water trine for me. Just ignore the moon. I know it makes a kite, but we're not going to focus on the kite. That's on Sunday. Let me take the moon out. Well, we'll leave her there, but we're really focusing on the water trine because the water trine's active, midweek through to Sunday. What is it you want here that is something to do with changing your work, changing your career path, or dedicating yourself with more passion to it? Perhaps Mars is, in the 10th house. He's going back over the first week of October timeframe. He's going to head direct on the 23rd. I've actually moved on to the 23rd Sunday, and I don't want to be there. So we're going to go backwards because I'm having a separate video coming out Thursday just about Mars heading direct. Okay. So you're probably feeling that you're ripe for a change in your money, earnings, and your strategy. The devotional flame dedicated to making money, earning money, being resourceful, and having a career, passion, or success, or drive and ambition that you're steadfast in. I mean, that Saturn Mars is like active forbearance and determination in the workhouse. But Mercury has some news for you as this time becomes very tightly mercurial as we move into the weekend. So Thursday through to Sunday. Well, it looks like some interesting news about some dream come true possibility of expansion of your role in a work setting or in a financial matter connected to work. Otherwise, you could also have some interesting developments regarding pets and rental properties that are extremely fortunate and positive during this Thursday through to Sunday. And if you wanted to get a pet, under this energy, you'd have a beautiful opportunity for a pet that you'd be devoted to, that's got a soulmate vibe for you, and even could be a reincarnation of a former pet. So a lot going on with pets here for some of you, considering pets in your life and maybe purchasing a pet. But ultimately, with Mars actions and decisions, go back to the first week of October. What were you assessing about your work and career path? Let's face it, Mars is probably wanting to quit your job or change your job or change something about it. You've been working hard. Mars keeps trining Saturn, active forbearance, intensity and determination in the work area, but something wants to shift. You want to make money and you want to do it from a place of devotion, not duty and drudgery. What's going to change? Let me know. Thursday through Sunday, something big is shifting here. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm going by day, not by hour. We're on to the Scorpios of the sky. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a devotional flame in the sign of you. You are asking the question, what is worth my attention, my devotion, my sacred duty? You are looking at life through that question mark. Sun, you're asking that about your career. Moon, about your home and nest, emotions, and rising. Any part of your life, you're saying, is it worth my sacrifice? Is it worth my devotion? And in this case, the flowing Vestal flame is activating your house of enjoyment. So you're also asking yourself, am I dedicated to my art, my entrepreneurship, my creativity? Am I dedicated to my love and romantic partnerships? Am I dedicated to my children? Am I devoted? And am I coming from a place of authentic enjoyment? Because Saturn can make it hard. You have Mars in the ninth house of publications, whether it's podcasting or books or foreign land travel, foreign distant shores, and adventures. He is retrograde. He's going back to the first week of October. What were you considering in the first week of October regarding far off distant lands and travel, regarding court and legal matters, about shared custody of children, even under this? And now this is all starting to flow and move forward in a very positive way. You are loaded in that fifth house, guys. I mean, Scorpios, get thee to the muse room, right? M-U-S-E, muse, muse, muse. Find that spark of enthusiasm, inspiration. This is what the sky asked you to do this week, especially Thursday through Sunday, okay? And Mars is all about taking the actions and decisions needed to do with ninth house matters. Some of it could be signing a public book publishing deal. Some of it could be getting a visa or passport fixed or arranged, or planning a far off leisure trip, romantic trip to a far off foreign shore or land. All right. That's definitely a vibe that's going on for some of you in this part of the sky. You don't have to take the trip Thursday through Sunday, but you may be booking a trip. That's for sure. All right, Sagittarius, the sky as a gorgeous water trine, flow, ease, and grace and goodness. Mars is a bit of a guy working on the money stuff. Like I often see long-term Mars transits in the eighth house of dividing assets in a long-term relationship, or seeing who gets what in the money and the shared resources. But it's also about taking action on your investments, your retirement funds, your taxes. And Mars is retrograding where he was the first week of October. So matters to do with those finances that I've mentioned, other people's money, unearned income, are back on the table again. Now he's ready to make some bold moves. Now he's going to execute the taxes and get them done, or sell that stock or something like that. Revise your directions of that longer range money. And as he's considering all of this, because he does go direct on the 23rd, which I believe is Sunday, he is literally looking at your fourth house of the home, property, land, and real estate. and also your childhood, and also the house of the mother, and also things you learned in your life from the ancestral line and the childhood stories. So Mars is also really good here at dispelling sort of like things that hold us back from our childhood, our ancestral curses, so to speak. And he's working in a very occult, mystery, paranormal way to slice through some of that stuff. And with the Vessel flame in the 12th house, there's a lot of soul work going on. This is a moksha trine, spiritual liberation, deep soul work, but also excavation and cutting and ending and severing things that are under the watery surfaces of the water signs here. The moksha water signs of houses 8, 12, and 4. You want to release, surrender, and let go, please, of some things that are holding you back. And a devotion in the 12th house is like devoted to spiritual liberation, to divine, mind, to learning who you really are. Like it's a spiritual transit. The priestess is in a house of spiritual awakening, the 12th house. But you may also be dedicated or devoted, right, to some kind of financial opportunity that connects you to foreign places, foreign shores, and distant lands. And there may be some decisions and actions you need to take on that front coming through the sky for you, Thursday through to Sunday. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. Well, there is a beautiful water trine lighting up the sky, and it really opens up the question of long-term significant love and business partnerships, as well as your audience and marketplace. Mars could be a decision or thought you were having, an action you wanted to take in early October when he was in the same degree, to do with business partners, business contracts, legal contracts to do with business, and long-term love and committed relationship. And Mars is kind of stationary. So he's like a deer in the headlights. He's paralyzed. He's not making any really major actions and decisions until he goes direct on the 23rd, 24th. And so as he's in this sort of like pivot point to turn in a new direction regarding the relational energies of the 7th house, he's also lining himself up with the Vestal flame of devotion in the house of allies and benefactors, a sibling 1 year older than you, one older than you, not 1 year, one older than you, brothers and sisters, so to speak, metaphorically, friends, allies, and benefactors. And there may be something, news, information, Mercury, Saturn, of a sort of a long range, something that has long legs to stand on and long range goals to accomplish. Mercury in the 3rd house usually is an email, a phone call. It's a house of communication. It's a house of sales. It's a house of marketing. So there's something trying to be given to you. It could come through a sibling, but it could also just come through your inbox, your emails, your phone calls. And pay attention Thursday through Sunday to that inbox. Don't forget to check it, or your LinkedIn account or something. I don't know. But there's some news or information definitely showing up here to expand your success, right, in career gains. And the devotional flame in the 11th house means that you are aligning to create career gains and income through the energy of something that you're actually devoted to. Now, Mars is in the house of a significant other, and that can be like a long-term relationship partnership. And that person may be very Martian right now. They may be very aggressive or very ready to fight, or they may be having a lot of change in their life and making major life decisions in their life. And if it's about them and not about you, which it could be, you'll see them making decisions to do with their own career gains and work, and being more devoted or dutiful in a true way to the work and career gains that they make. So it may not even be about you. And finally, travel. If you want to travel with a significant other, or plan a trip, or book a ticket, this is the kind of sky that you have. It could light up a feeling of some goals and dreams and wishes being accomplished for you in relationship to another person. But it's definitely directionality. So any long-term love relationships that have been sort of in a limbo of some sort, or in lacking of clear directionality is brewing Thursday through Sunday. Okay. So that's the story I've got for you. But look to phone calls, emails, and text messages, and possibly a trip or a travel opportunity. Hey, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Let me take a sip of my cold tea. Number 1. So this is a Mars 6th house story that goes back to October, but also back to 77, 78, to do with work, like the job. What is your job? What is your work? Maybe health. And this is also good for like cutting away, exercising more, and getting rid of things that are bad for your health. And Mars was here in September, October. Then it came back January 6th. He doesn't leave till April 18th or so. There's a lot of your life right now focused on the work, focused on either being driven and workaholic, that happens here, or looking maybe for balance and changes of the direction of the work, because you want to be dedicated, right? Devoted to your public reputation, social standing, and career. You want to feel a dedication. And Mars is telling that Vestal flame, the work we do must feel devotional. We must be really into it, basically. Mars is going to be moving forward on the 23rd into direct motion, allowing us to go ahead and make some major changes and decisions about what we're going to keep and what we're going to quit and what we're going to no longer do when it comes to the work and career. Mars is flowing to the earnings house, and so is the Vestal flame. Thursday through Sunday, a nice glow up in the finances connected to work and career. These are Artha houses, material success. And so there's the material success story here. Saturn's been trying to make our second house, Aquarius, is, stable and give us structures and forms for increasing our financial well-being. Like I incorporated, for example, last year. The North Node expands our earnings over the next 16 months. And this little like lovely Thursday through Sunday sky looks like you're making some major decisions or changes in the work itself, but at the same time experiencing a financial increase or glow. Like if you're looking to quit a job, quit it under the sky. Good things will come afterwards. But don't take my advice. I'm not looking at your chart, but in general, it could be good for a leave taking of a part of the work, a role you play in the work, or even the work itself. And, Mercury's got some news to do with money. Basically, Mercury is in the house of also what you put in your mouth, and you may make a massive dietary style change Thursday through Sunday. Now you realize you cannot eat that gluten or some food style that's not working for you. And you make a commitment, a dedicated choice, a Mars, to change that pattern of your health. All right. Mercury, though, is commerce, and Mercury Saturn is stability, and Mars and Mercury and Saturn are commercial success. So you might be doing something in the world that brings you a little bit of financial commercial success Thursday through until Sunday. And finally, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. So you're one of the water signs, of course, like the Cancer, Scorpios. You're loving the vibe, right? Your Pisces sun is your career. Your moon might be about your home and nest, and your Pisces rising is everything about you. Now, this kind of triangle brings luck and opportunities. It's Jupiterian, and it may be something going on with one of your children and their lucky break. They get accepted at their favorite school. They got accepted to Harvard or some school that they were hoping to in university. Or you might be making some significant changes in your entrepreneurial business, or you might be looking for some significant shifts in the long term, not in the long term, but in the romance part of your chart, your fifth house. Mars often brings a lot of passion when he's here, right? In the sign, no, not necessarily. He's in Cancer. He's more emotional, but you might have some deep emotional intensity in long-term, no, in short-term romantic dating and romance and sex. This is something going on there for you. So back to the first week of October, Mars was at the 17th degree in your house of children and romantic love. So what was going on? Did you almost quit a relationship? Did you want to break free of it? Was it coming to some, arguing with your children or a significant love person in your life back in October? Now it's going to, like, Mars is retrograded back to the spot to rethink that actions and decisions there. I do want to say the Vestal flame in the ninth house is saying Dharma, Dharma, Dharma. Find the alignment with your truer purpose. If you're an entrepreneur, align your entrepreneurial business with a deeper purpose, a sense of mission, a sense of a soul being on track, flowing with the Tao, all of that. And you may be coming into some lucky energy because Mercury and Saturn together holding the corner of this triangle on the weekend is like you have some information or idea that you're able to come into contact with that really does activate a huge amount of passion or success and drive through to mid-April for entrepreneurial creative projects. Now, if you're single looking for love, could you get it out of this thing? Maybe. Passionate, you love affair connected to foreign lands and foreign shores in distant places, or publishing and book publishing deals that are trying to emerge here. Ninth house matters from creative projects that you've been working on, Mars in the fifth house. Hmm. And ultimately, with the North Node in the house of you over the next year and a half, and the South Node in your seventh house, you're taking your attention off significant long-term love partnerships. If you're single, you might meet a soulmate or a destined partner. But for the rest of you, it's like, oh yeah, like it's all about me now. Like forget about my partner. Like I'm focusing on what I need, what I want, my creativity, my destiny when it comes to publishing, learning, education. And you know, this could even incite you Thursday through Sunday to investigate enrolling or applying for some longer term course of education or study, and that's feeling aligned with true purpose and creativity. So there's all of this beautiful flow. And you know, houses 1, 5, and 9, they are Dharma houses. You're really kind of aligning with one's your deeper, truer meaning of life, purpose in life, and alignment with the life you're meant to live. Your compass is heading to true north Thursday through Sunday. And finally, you know, finally, Mercury is you. Like you have an idea, you have information, you have something you're thinking about. Okay, so light it up. You know, Mars is the action taker, and vessel flame is the devotion to it. Are you going to start writing a book? Are you going to launch a new business endeavor? And certainly, I mean, you've got Mercury. I mean, you got Uranus in the house of the online world. So you're not too bad doing online stuff as well with this trine. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. I'm recording this for my Patreon community on Saturday, February the 15th. They get this early access ad free. This is coming out for the rest of you on Monday, the 17th. And I don't know what's going on in the world right now. Like, I mean, in other words, I'm not going to predict things for the future. This was a sign-based video, but you want to know about world astrology, I'll be looking into world astrology on my What in the World Wednesday drop, which is going to be in the future, probably no more than half an hour to 40 minutes long, but I'll cover some big world topics and talk about the astrology of that going forward. And then I may recapture my Thursday drops because the algorithm doesn't really reward the all sign stuff, the non all sign stuff, right? You guys, I know you liked it, but it's 8% less views than usual. It's a total trash bin for my ad revenue. I got 2 subscribers out of it. So it's like, I'm going to do it because I like this stuff. And so I know a lot of you do, but I can't do it at the expense of my Thursday drop because it's going to slow my channel growth down. So now I'm doing 4 videos a week. All right. You all want the all signs, right? You guys are all gluttons for the all signs content. I get it because it's about you. All right. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Check out my Venus class. Starts March 1st, runs to the 16th of April. Live calls with me on Zoom, 3 Q&As a week, a Facebook group, and more. So check it out. Bye, everyone.